This episode of the Ponder Football Coaches Show is brought to you by Montana Ridge Outfitters. You love hunting and the outdoors, and so do we, and that's why we've created a way for you to enjoy it every month. With Montana Ridge Outfitters Shirt of the Month Club, subscribers get a new shirt with one of the top hunting ranches, guide services, or dealers from the United States and around the world. With this shirt style of your choice, members receive a 5x7 color card that has pictures, information related to each month's subjects. In addition, our website features previous month shirts as well as MRO merchandise. Go to MontanaRidgeGear.com and select a 3, 6, or 12-month subscription and begin receiving your packages in the mail the following month. Now, as a member, you will not know what month's subject will be until you receive it in the mail. Thank you for being one of us, and we look forward to supplying you with next month's shirt. Again, that's MontanaRidgeGear.com. Also being a sponsor is Heroes Heating and Air, servicing the North Texas area for your heating and air conditioning needs. They can service your existing unit or design a complete brand new system. Whether it's just for a service or a new install, pick up the phone and give them a call, 940-597-9638. It's a new era for the Lions. Hello, everybody. Terry Bennett here on the inaugural Montana Ridge Outfitters Ponder Football Show right here on S2S Sports Network, part of L4 Media. And this is a new era as the Ponder Lions hired Coach Marcus Schultz away from Humble in the offseason, and now he steps in as the new head coach and AD. Of course, everybody knows the story now. He was born and raised in Sanger, right down the road, played for Sanger. And now he comes close to home to take over a program that I think a lot of people feel there's a lot of potential in. And I think Marcus Schultz is that guy that could help break that, that potential open. And yes, I'm saying that because I know the man, and we've done a coach's show. This will be our third school that we've done a coach's show at, but also because I've seen the results because I do a coach's show with him. I saw the results he did at Splendor. I saw the results he did at Humble. And if you're just going to look at the record, it's not going to wow you, but you look at where they came from the year before, and you look at the district they were in. The fact that he was playing for a playoff spot into the last week of the season tells you what he can do. And I think at Ponder, the door is wide open as far as what the Lions can do. Not only talking about in 2023, but I'm talking about beyond. I think Marcus Schultz is truly going to be here for the long haul. I mean, he moves all the way back across Texas. You're not doing that just for a year or two. And so what we're going to do here each and every week, if you've never listened to one of our coaches' shows, is I'll interview Coach Marcus Schultz about the week that they just played and then preview the week that we are on. So this week we'll talk about here in a minute, there's no game. But next week they start with Fort Worth Dunbar. So we will talk about that game. And then we will the next week meet. And then we'll talk about the Dunbar game, win or lose, and then preview the Chrome game, and so on and so on. It's old, good, standard coaches show format. If you heard the ad reads at the beginning, I do want to thank Montana Ridge Outfitters for being title sponsor, as well as Heroes Heating and Air. Not only are both of these wanting to advertise their businesses, but they're personally invested as they are the brothers of Marcus Schultz. And so we are happy to be telling you about them each and every week here on the show. All right, so if you do not know, basically Valley View in June, I think it was, told Ponder that, hey, we're not playing. And so while everybody else is getting to have, Christmas Day this weekend with football, Ponder, it's just like an extended Christmas Eve. So Ponder won't start till next week. Again, they'll take on Fort Worth Dunbar. And that's how tough it is trying to find a game in week 2. It's just been a really weird offseason when it comes to that kind of stuff. And when you look at who Ponder's playing this year before you get to district, and then even 1 week in district, and in top of the 4A, 3A Division I, just being one of the toughest districts, Ponder's going to have one of the toughest records, or one of the toughest schedules in 3A Division I, if not all of 3A. Brock has one of those schedules too. They've got Pleasant Grove, they've got Wichita Falls, Hershey, they've got Wimberley. So Brock's right there too. But that's how you get better. That's how you win. Win later when the games count. The non-district, and I'm glad to see more and more coaches over the last 20 years have really embraced the idea that, we need a tough non-district. Those wins don't matter. I mean, yeah, you want to win, you're competitive, but those wins don't matter to watching this team build. And then you see that pay off in district and, more importantly, later on in the playoffs. So anyway, with Valley View canceling, I decided, Coach Schultz likes to talk of the games. We usually take a bye week and stuff. So what I decided to do was I would take the first interview I had with him at coach's school, where I interviewed him and among many coaches, and he talked about the move, and he talked about some of the changes he was going to make and all that fun stuff. So that's what we're going to put on this show. And then next week, Coach Schultz will be on the phone, and we will start talking football games and all that fun stuff. So we're going to take a break. And when we come back, my interview with Coach Marcus Schultz at THSCA Coaches School earlier in the offseason, brought to you by Montana Ridge Outfitters and Heroes Heating and Air on the S2S Sports Network. Is your demanding work lifestyle in need of fire-resistant clothing that can keep up? Well, L4FR clothing should be your go-to for quality, affordability, safety, and style. L4FR was founded by a third-generation oil field worker who is also a veteran. Thus, this company has a deep appreciation for reliability and longevity, all while we provide first-rate customer service. Our durable apparel will serve you well for many years to come, whether you're working on a pipeline, a lineman climbing utility poles, or in any other environment requiring fire-resistant apparel. L4FR has you covered. Our apparel is tough enough to resist hazardous conditions while still providing high comfort and style. L4FR provides clothing options to ensure your safety and comfort, whether you're on the job or not. To view our complete inventory of flame-resistant garments, please visit our online store at l4frclothing.com or give us a call at 817-757-4935. Si habla español. All right, Terry Bennett back here on the Ponder Coaches Show. Now, as I said, this was done at Coaches School, so you're going to hear some feet and noise in the background. That's just people walking by our booth and such. But here he is, the head coach of the Ponder Lions. All right, we're now joined by the new head coach of the Ponder Lions, Coach Marcus Schultz, a guy we've known since Splendora. First off, congratulations. It's funny because you and I talked way back when you were at Splendora about how one day you wanted to get closer to home. Did you think it was going to be this quick? That was only a couple years later.
No, I knew that was the ultimate goal, and I knew that was what me and my family, wanted to get back to and get back to our roots and get our son, into a smaller community in a one high school type town. But the opportunity presented itself, and we're blessed to be there.
Yeah, your daughter was at Splendora, and you were going to stay till she graduates. You were at Humble for 2 years, and you really turned the program around that a lot of people didn't think y'all were going to turn it around. In year 2, you're fighting for the playoffs. How hard was it to leave that? Because I know that even though you were ready to go home, you really loved the boys there at Humble, and you're still posting about them and things like that.
No, it was definitely tough. Those are amazing kids, and they sometimes don't get the recognition that they deserve. And so those guys will always, have a place in my heart, and that staff is going to do phenomenal things. And so Coach Murphy was my defensive coordinator, and he's taken over that program, and they're in good hands. But, I think that, it was time to get back home. And so as much as we weighed out, the pros and the cons, and as much as I hated to leave some of those kids and that community, we want to get back around our family, and Ponder's an amazing community with great administration, and, it's where we want to be.
Well, we've said on our show the last couple of years, Ponder, they're a Brock in the making if they could just get the right guy. And I'm not just saying this because we do a coach's show with you, but I think you're the right guy, not only because you're from the area, but what you did at Splendora. You're the type of guy that you come in and you rebuild programs. So your first step, what is your first step for Ponder?
I appreciate that. And I think the first step for us is just to get the kids to buy into what we're trying to do. It's little by little, and it's doing the little things right. And, I'm blessed to be able to bring some guys with me that were at Splendora with me, and then went to Humble, and now they've come to Ponder. And so having that opportunity to have guys that know my system and our system and how we do things is a big thing. And so getting our kids to believe that they're worthy, similar to what Splendora was. Ponder's only been around for 13 years as far as football, never won a playoff game in school history. And so I've only been to the playoffs one time. And so, it's a lot of similarities are there that Splendor had. And so, but I think, we've got pieces in place. The community is phenomenal, man. We're doing home visits and things right now. And, the welcoming that we've gotten and the reception that we've gotten has been awesome.
Well, you bring it up. You talk about the buying in, and you and I talked about this at Splendora. That's bigger than whatever scheme you run or anything like that. It's getting the kids to trust you when you say, this is going to happen on a play, and believe me, it will happen. That's the hardest part, isn't it?
Oh, no doubt. And just getting them once, but that's all relationships.
Yep.
And it's building those relationships, and it's meeting those kids somewhere other than the playing field. And so getting them to believe and to trust in us and to believe what we're trying to sell them is the biggest part. But then once they get that buy-in and they get that feel and they believe that they can win, that's going to happen.
And how does it feel to be so close to home? You feeling more comfortable? Not that you weren't comfortable, but we used to talk about Splendor, and it was just you weren't from that area. Do you feel more comfortable now being in Ponder?
I do. And so, obviously my brother, and my brother lives in Ponder, and he was on the school board, and he had to get off. I've got two nephews that are in between my son. My son is in between them, so I'm going to get to coach all my nephews and my son together. And so, getting back to that area, I don't think I've had a home-cooked meal from my mom other than a Thanksgiving or a Christmas dinner.
Yep.
And so we've been home now 2.5 months, and I think I've had, 10 or 12 home-cooked meals and her coming over. And so it's good to have that and that being back in that home feeling.
Well, and that's the thing. You're coming to Ponder. This isn't hey, I'm just here to build the resume and move. You're and you and I talked about when I first texted you, congratulations. You're laying a foundation, just like you did at Splendor. But you want to see this all the way through. Now, in saying that, you did have to pick one of the toughest districts to get into. I mean, that's the one thing about it. You might have tougher district games than you would playoff games. So how do you again, is that to build the confidence, get the players to think that they can beat the Brocks, the Whitesboroughs, and all those of the world?
Absolutely. I think our kids to an extent do. I think we played, if you look at our schedule last year, a lot of those games were close games. Mm-hmm. A lot of those games we were in the game or up and then lost late in the game. And so nothing against the previous coaching staff. I think they did a phenomenal job and did a great job with our kids. But little different mentality. We're gonna play a little bit more guys on both sides of the ball, and we're not just gonna play one side of the ball. And so I think our kids have really bought into our defensive scheme and our defensive mindset. And, offensively, we're still going to do what we do. And you saw that in 7-on-7.
Yep.
But then defensively, we're going to also play a little bit of defense.
And y'all had a really good 7-on-7. And you talked about, y'all. I know they lost the quarterback, but y'all got two great wide receivers coming back. And I'm like you, no offense to but they did tend to play more offense. Let's worry about the defense. That's not what you do. You're going to shore that defense up. We talked about in Splendora your last year. You had a lot of injuries offensively, and your defense carried y'all when a lot of people thought y'all were going to be down. And in that district, defense is going to win playoff spots.
Oh, no doubt. And then, we talked about the three-headed monster when we got to Ponder. It's just making sure that our offense, our defense, and our special teams. I'm a big-time special teams guy, and so making sure that we're clicking on all three of those and we're spending ample time and adequate time on each area. And our kids are believing that they can play defense, and they're accepting of playing both sides of the ball. And so those guys like the Case Peacock was a 1,500-yard receiver last year. But then we moved him to the defensive side of the ball, and he was our leading guy with interceptions in 7-on-7 this summer. And so, we've got a good nucleus with Case and Cooper Reynolds coming back. Two quarterbacks that'll battle a little bit with Gage Ersch and Tyson Price. Brannick Sorensen's coming back, our running backs, Mason Shirley and Jimmy Camacho. And then on the other side of the ball, we're going to be good as well. And so, inside you got Colin Ussery and safeties. We got Gianni Ice coming back, TJ Mills out there at corner with Tyson Price. And so, mixing those guys up, it's going to be fun, and the kids are excited. Our coaching staff's excited. The community is excited, and so we're ready to get going.
I can hear it. Not saying you aren't excited at Humble, but I'm hearing Splendora Schultz right here. You're in the lab right now, and you're cooking. I can tell. You're going to surprise some people. We put a little target on your back on sideline. We called y'all a dark horse of the region, but I truly believe it. And like you said, your kids, getting them to believe you want to fear Brock, but you don't want to be scared of Brock. You want to fear Whitesboro, but not be scared of them. All that takes is that one big win, and I got a feeling the barn door is going to open.
No, you're exactly right. And we're going to respect everybody we play. It doesn't matter if we're playing somebody we, maybe hadn't been successful, or you're playing a Brock who's been, multiple state championships. We're going to respect everybody, but we're going to go into the game plan the same as we do every single week, and we're going to grind it out. we're going to play physical defense, and we're going to see where the chips fall.
And we do thank him for joining us when we were at Coach's School. And again, he will be on the phone next week, and we will start previewing the season. Again, I want to thank our sponsors, Montana Ridge Outfitters. You can find them online at montanaridgegear.com. Select a 3, 6, or 12-month subscription and begin receiving your shirts in the mail. I think that's pretty cool. And if you have any other questions, you can email them sales at montanaridge.com. Also, Heroes Heating and Air, servicing the North Texas area for your heating and air conditioning needs. Give them a call, 940-597-9638. Whether you're trying to just get your unit repaired or you need a brand new system, pick up a phone and give Heroes Heating and Air a call. All right, that's going to do it for week 1. Until next week, I'm Terry Bennett, and this has been the Montana Ridge Outfitters Ponder Coaches Show on the S2S Sports Network, part of L4 Media.